Well, I see who's got power.
I don't.
Is that Maura?
No, it's Lori Barefoot.
Oh, Lori, I'm sorry. Um,
No power for me and no internet.
oh, well, I had that situation this morning and my basement flooded in like 30 minutes because the sump pump stopped
Oh,
working. And then we got the
oh,
generator going. And then I had to go to Putnam so I could attend meetings all day. So I was in the
oh.
library. Yeah, it's so I have little to complain about compared to what other people are going through. I get that. Um,
I wasn't sure if the meeting was actually going to happen tonight.
well, I wasn't either. Grace, are you on generator or do you unplug? Are you back on the grid? Grace? I see her name there.
She might have just logged on, but then stepped away since we don't
Oh,
start for like 8 more minutes.
how are you, Crystal? How are you situated?
We are good. We've got power and never lost it. So counting ourselves lucky.
Well, the
Oh,
last statistic I saw was that like 47% of the households in Woodstock are without power.
Yeah,
But
that's what I saw too. I haven't seen an update to that.
yeah, it's going to present a problem for people potentially to attend. One of my big challenges tonight was to actually get the Zoom information, and Grace did a wonderful job. She came through for me. Thank you, Grace. Because without, I mean, you can actually see email, but then if you have an attachment, what happens with Verizon is they decrease your bandwidth on your phone. So you're not able to open attachments. So I could not get to the attachment to see what the login information was. I think some other people might possibly run into that situation too.
Yeah, I texted
Well,
him
Pam,
ago to see if we were still planning to have the meeting. He said he wanted to try, so but I guess we can
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
vote and see like if people don't have power or need to conserve their energy that we could.
well, Pam Spade said she couldn't make it.
Okay.
I got an email from her.
I don't have power, but thanks to Grace, I got the phone number.
Maura, are you still without power?
Yep. No. Did you say Maura?
Maura,
Yes.
you're really getting your money's worth out of that generator you bought.
Right.
And Grace, did you ever get your power back?
Yeah, I got it. I got it back. Yeah. My issue is with the computers. It's ridiculous. Right now, I'm on my phone and I had to redo. I actually had a phone in from a other than the Zoom. It's insane. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, you're.
Other
This is-
than that,
Well,
you have
thanks
power,
for.
so I can't complain.
So, Crystal, you
There's
heard
an
from
awful lot of flutter.
Yes. Crystal, you heard from Lee that he's coming?
I texted him a few hours ago. He said he was planning to have the meeting,
Okay.
but I don't see him as having joined yet.
Maura's here. She could run it.
That's true.
Well, seeing as it's just 7, maybe we could wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So are there other people without power besides me?
I don't
Lori.
have power. Yeah, no power, no internet.
Yeah, you're over near 198 apparently has wires down, and then on our road, Sherman Road, there's wires down. And I kind of have a river running down my road.
Not good. That's
No.
terrible.
Beth, is 171 open yet?
Yeah, there's at least my section, there's plenty of cars. We never lost power. It flickered a lot, but
Well, I drove from Putnam back home, and Millbrook was over the road at Old Hall in New Sweden, where it always goes over the road. And there was a good 4 inches of water, 5, 6 inches. People were driving through it, but they closed it further up at Taylor's Corner because there was just water over the road, really deep on one side.
Wow, that,
And County Road also had water over the road at the 171 Ed, where they always have water over the road.
yeah. I wonder how that resiliency project's working out.
So just for the record, I have Beth, Crystal, Jean, Lori, myself. Am I missing anybody?
Jim Keating's here.
I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Did you say Mara? I don't
I'll
know if you said
alternate.
Mara or Lori.
No. Okay.
Jim, how's the road up by 169 at English Neighborhood Brook?
So around us, it's been okay. We had, a lot of flooding in our backyard, but the road was okay. I noticed I had to go up to Southbridge earlier tonight, and 169 north of 197 was closed. So I had to take English Neighborhood up to Southbridge, so.
Yeah, I was reading that. I don't know where it is that it always floods, but that section stretch often has problems between 197 and the Massachusetts border.
I feel we've been pretty lucky in this location the past number of storms because we haven't really lost power the way we were maybe, 2 or 3 years ago. So something's changed.
Hey, Lee.
I have been sitting, waiting to get in.
There
Sorry,
you
it didn't
go.
Show up until just now.
Wait, you guys,
Hey,
I'm in the,
well,
but I got the generator running.
Oh, good, another no power-y.
Yeah,
And I have a generator too, so.
Solidarity.
yeah, I wonder why. I guess I'm in the, oh, there I am. But it's dark.
Well,
Okay.
nobody else is showing their face, so you'll be the only one.
Okay. So ready to get
Dave
started?
And wet.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, call the meeting to order at 7:05. Everybody state their name. Lee Wessler's here.
Crystal Adams here.
Mara Roby.
Jean Pillow.
Beth Bernard.
Lori
Jim Keating.
Barefoot.
And Grace. And you
Okay.
said Jim was here. I didn't hear him.
Yes, Jim Kading.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we can see Jim.
Mhm.
I'm sitting over.
Okay, anyone look at the minutes and is there a motion to approve?
Come on, guys. Please,
Anyone?
you got 2 copies.
Well, I looked at the minutes, but I wasn't at the meeting last time, so I don't think I can.
That's
Yeah.
all right. Yes, you can.
You can
Oh,
vote.
okay, then I motion to approve.
Okay. Lori makes motion. Is there a second?
Crystal Adams, I second it.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Yep.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, there's no public here. So we're on to treasurer's report. Grace.
Okay, it's basically, because I didn't, my due diligence, get to the treasurer's office in time. It's basically, we're still at 1914 for our normal, and our special revenue is 2193.22. There are some things coming out, but again, I wasn't in time in the treasurer's office, so it will show next month. But I did check with the $1,000 that goes to, what is it, ECCD, and they have not heard from them as yet, so that's still in the budget.
We had 2 donations to the special account, and we need to send out letters thanking them for their donations so they can have it for their tax files. Has that happened?
I do believe I did that already, and the amount of money is shown in our special as it is up to 2193.22.
I thought I spent it. I didn't spend it all?
No, you didn't spend it all.
Oh,
You spent $268.
okay. So you sent them letters saying thank you for their tax records?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Thank you.
Hey, any other questions for the treasurer? Hey, chairperson's report. I have to, every year I have to send in what our budget's going to be for next year. So everybody's okay with me just sending the same thing in as last year?
Yep.
Okay.
Fine.
Yep.
Any communications?
No, actually, there was nothing. Well, there was a fake bill, but other than that, there was nothing.
Okay.
I was reached out to by a resident of Woodstock. Also who lives up here part of the year and lives down in Maryland the rest of. And she wanted to talk about possibly starting a year's program in Woodstock, similar to what they have now.
Can you say that again? What kind of program?
It's called Warriors in Montgomery County. I will put it into the chat so you can. I invited her to come to one of our upcoming, because they are, via Zoom. So she might try to do that. But she sounded really passionate about invasive and native plants and this Weed Warrior project, or that she knows of, and thought it would be good in, wanted to know if we had anything like that. All right, I in the put the information she sent me.
That's Montgomery County, Pennsylvania?
No, Maryland.
Okay. Outside Philly, there's a Montgomery County. Okay, old business, anything DRC, Gene?
I have heard, and I haven't read the proposal, but there's a public hearing that's been continued for an application to allow a event venue at I don't know if it's still called Woodstock Sustainable Farms or it's a different name now. I'm not sure. It's driveway access is from Pulpit Rock Road, and we have opposed allowing that type of business with that type of traffic from Pulpit Rock Road because it's not the right road width, and GPS would take people from all over the place on that road that's not designed for heavy traffic. I know it's been through planning and zoning at least one meeting, and I saw it was continued, and they canceled the meeting for some reason, and the next meeting's coming up in January. I don't know when I'd have time to meet to discuss this or review the application, but if somebody pulls the application together, looks it over, and wants to meet with me, we can discuss it.
Any questions for Jean?
Jean, this is Beth. I'm happy to review that with you. And I'm just curious if anyone knows, why is Pulpit Rock not paved?
We don't want it paved.
It's the first scenic road in Woodstock, and it was, the scenic road ordinance was created in the 70s to protect Pulpit Rock Road from being paved and widened. It was, parts of Pulpit Rock Road are along the original Connecticut path between Boston and Hartford. And there's a historical aspect to keep it in an unpaved roadway.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and if it gets paved, people will use it as a shortcut from county, down to the other end.
They already do.
Yeah, but it would get a lot worse.
So is the place you're talking about, that's not the brewery, the Treehouse, that's,
No, Treehouse is
No,
on Troy Road.
Well, the
Yeah, but you can
information
get
I
there.
got was hearsay. But the owner of Woodstock Sustainable Farm has been in communication with the Treehouse Brewery because they want to have a second entrance to their property. And they thought maybe if they fought together in the name of economic development, they might get it through. But I don't know that for sure. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to even look at the application to see what's been proposed. Other than they say, well, we'll direct people to come through Meehan, but you know how it works with GPS. GPS is going to take you the shortcut. You can't program into GPS that you have to come on paved roads only.
Oh, that would be they're not even close to each other.
What?
yeah, they are.
Meehan goes
Pulpit
in.
and Joy Road? Oh,
Yeah, but Joy,
no, Joy
Pulpit
Road.
Rock Road and Joy Road are kind of, sort of, like almost parallel, but like,
Right.
yeah. So
They're parallel, but they don't
Treehouse
connect.
Brewery extends from one end to the other, so you can access Treehouse Brewery from Joy Road up the nicely well-designed switchback driveway. But
Right.
they also have access to Pulpit Rock Road.
yeah, because it used to be Devon Point Farm, and I used to go there taking Pulpit Rock Road, so that's their entrance too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be no good. Okay, anything else, Jean, or questions for
Well,
Jean?
if we want to set up a meeting, it can't be until next year. I won't be available through the holidays.
Okay.
I'm just looking at my calendar, if you don't mind. I don't know if planning and zoning's meeting on the 4th. I think they meet the first and the third Thursday of the month. But I don't know which one they're going to open the public hearing on. If it's going to be on the 4th, we'd have to meet on the 2nd or 3rd.
Okay. I'm away that week, so I can't make it.
Beth?
I am fairly flexible on the 2nd. Like, yeah.
All right. So
It's gonna be a crazy day. I could meet on the 3rd in the afternoon via Zoom.
I have to work.
She can't do it.
The second in the evening works better for me by Zoom,
Sure.
if we can get a Zoom channel from the town.
Do we have to, or can we just use a personal Zoom?
It's a public meeting, we have to meet through the
Okay.
town channel, or we have to meet at the town hall. What's your preference? We might be able to get a big set of plants at the town hall to look at, which is a lot nicer.
I mean, I can go to the town hall. That's fine.
Tuesday evening, the second,
Yeah.
7 PM. Anybody else interested? Okay, I'm gonna have to set up a meeting, make sure there's a room available for us to meet in, with the town clerk. I'll take care of that before I take my Christmas break. Thank you, Beth.
Okay. Okay, Crystal, open space.
I was not able to attend last week's meeting.
Do we have an alternate?
The alternate.
Yeah, I thought Jason,
Jason?
didn't he
Okay.
say he would be the alternate?
Yeah, I think so.
But does Jason know when he needs to be the alternate?
I wasn't able to contact him.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, P and Z, just what Jean mentioned.
Oh, well, another thing about P and Z, they're
Yeah,
in the process of starting to assemble the updated the plan of conservation and development. And we should all be involved in this because the conservation part often gets less attention if we don't have a voice for conservation. So I know I saw that they were having meetings, but I don't know their full schedule yet. But we do need to be aware and be prepared to, review it or add suggested content for this new update.
okay. They still have to look at the new checklist that we sent them 2 years ago.
Well, it was a recommendation. They didn't have to accept it. And
I know, but
that needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
Some of the links don't work anymore.
okay. Anyone else have anything on P and Z? If not, Grace, Ag Commission.
Yeah, nothing particularly for us. They're discussing grant possibilities through the grant that Rebecca and Crystal have been part of. They're trying to figure out ways of promoting the town and what's here. And they actually have monies. They are hiring somebody to collect data on easements. And I very promptly said to them, that's something that we are supposed to be involved with, are supposed to know about, and we don't know a lot. Anyway, I expect that once this person is hired, hopefully we can touch base, because I said to them, easements are something that some of them are owned by land trusts, some of them are in estates, and it has to be very clear, when a property is sold, that there's an easement on it and they have to accept that. And I said, we really are very light on our knowledge of this stuff, but they will get absolutely in the new year, but they will get back, and I will keep us up to date on it as it comes in.
Excellent.
Can I just add that, aren't they just interested in the town easements?
Just agricultural easements?
Be the
They're
main
interested
focus
in,
and where it starts. But then I think, Rebecca would be like to see it go into all more easements. The main focus, I think, will be the agricultural easements.
And some of those agricultural easements are by the Department of Agriculture. And some of them, like Paul Wilbur's easement, which is an agricultural easement, there's two that are of smaller, I can't remember the group anymore. American Farmland Trust or something, they have easements. So there's more than just the Department of Ag easements.
Okay. Any other questions for Grace? Anyone have anything on stewardship? Probably not, because it's winter. Crystal Pollinator Pathway.
That's Jean.
I'm sorry, no, Gene Pollinator Pathway.
Oh, I thought she said Crystal Pond. I'm like,
No.
what Crystal Pond pathway are you talking about?
Mhm.
I have no updates on pollinator pathway other than there's a seed exchange going on in Mansfield. If people want to do seed swaps for native plants, just let me know and I'll get you the information.
Hey, Crystal, Sustainable Connecticut.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Eversource. So I had a group link with Eversource and Jay and Bill. Hang on. Grab the dog.
Who let the dogs out?
So anyway, Eversource, they wrote some baloney about how they're, done everything right, and I pointed out that they didn't. Then they promised to get a hold of Bill Rathbone, which they didn't, and I had to email them, and then finally they got a hold of Bill, and I talked to him this weekend. And here's the bottom line. Bill said to the Eversource person, the communication is poor, and he expects them to do a better job in letting him know what their projects are. So he's on board with that. Child Hill, Eversource still would replace trees, except Bill said they'll put them on town property, but there's nobody who's going to water them and maintain them. So I thought Eversource, when we talked to them, I thought they said they'd be responsible for it, but I look back on the communication they had with us, and they didn't say that at all. They just talked about homeowners. But anyway, what Bill's going to do is he's going to go door to door on Child Road and try to encourage landowners to accept new trees from Eversource and then be responsible for the trees. So hopefully we can get some of the trees there replaced. Which brings me to 171. Bill said they did a horrible job. They cut too many trees. Where they cut didn't make any sense. And I asked him, so what do we do? And he goes, the best thing to do is just let nature take its course. He expects saplings to sprout and brush to grow. And he's going to make sure that Eversource doesn't cut back to ground when that happens again. He doesn't expect significant erosion because there's a lot of roots still there. But we may get road, salt washout, at least for the first season. So at least the Eversource knows they've kind of been caught. we're going to make sure they communicate. And then I sent a letter to Jay telling him everything I just told you. And I included Jeff, who I suggested that if there's a Connecticut State subcommittee that's responsible for overseeing Eversource, that he makes them aware of what happened in Woodstock. And if there's not, he may want to start one. And I reminded him that we're a beta test and Eversource wants to do this for the entire state. And he's been included in all the communication. So he's aware that they kind of botched this one. So hopefully, we'll serve as something that will protect Connecticut statewide from something like this happening again.
I would absolutely love to see what the Bank of Millbrook looks like now after the flooding, because that brook was raging today.
Yeah.
And, and so that's, if they say, oh, there's no impact, well.
No. Eversource, Bill agrees with us. Eversource completely got it wrong. Unfortunately, we're left with the situation that there's nothing we can do. Nobody's gonna, if they replant trees, there's nobody to maintain them. And Bill said it would be unworkable, and it's best just to let nature take over again.
Well, I saw there's one stretch of 171, which was in their project area. This is not near Millbrook, but another area where they were cutting under the wires. And the only thing left standing in this one whole stretch was a winged euonymus, which is very productive in making seeds. And we're just created the conditions to let those seedlings grow and have an entire roadside. We should document this. I mean, literally take a picture of that tree, the one single winged euonymus, and then go back and see how it's spreading. But that's why couldn't they take that one down? They took everything else down. There's a lot of places they still have left logs just laying there, so they have not cleaned them up as they said they would. Like at the corner of County Road in 171, they cut the trees down. They're still sitting there. I don't see any signs on them saying do not touch. Most people, when they want to keep the wood, they put a sign up to keep people from cutting it up and removing it. And it's just sitting there.
Hey, well, I can send in a letter again asking their, the representative who is in touch with Jay, what they expect to do with the logs.
And I would add, at the very least, there is something they can do, and that is put erosion control blanket in place, secure that down until that starts to grow back, because that is going to stabilize that bank. That whole bank could collapse during this rainstorm. So they should be doing that at the least, because you can't just wait and see,
Right.
when you have storms like this. And they should be able to put down erosion control blanket securely, and that will at least stabilize until things can grow back.
Yeah, I asked Bill. Bill felt that the root systems would mitigate any
They
erosion.
will for a while. What happens, and Crystal can confirm this because she's taken soil health classes. As long as they're living roots, they do a great job of holding in, preventing soil erosion. But now that these are dead trees,
Right.
the root systems won't be alive anymore. The root systems of the trees will not be leaking out all the chemicals, the sugars and whatnot that the soil fungus is feeding on, which is making the healthy soil that's preventing the erosion. So dead trees do not have long lasting impacts for erosion. It'll be temporary.
additionally, for a lot of the trees that they cut, they use Pathfinder on the stumps to prevent those trees from growing back and to kill the roots.
No,
So,
they said they did not use any herbicides.
okay, in that particular section, but they were using it in
No.
some sections.
No, they emailed us and said they didn't use any anywhere.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's not what they were originally mentioning,
know,
but that's fantastic.
But that
Really
that
good,
was,
really good.
they said that. Well, we'll know after this rainstorm,
Yeah.
because, again, I asked Bill specifically about the erosion, and we'll keep that in mind.
The hard part
I
is
think-
if we wanted to do a visual inspection, that stretch of the road is really dangerous to walk along the edge because there's like a very, very narrow shoulder to walk on. I've considered doing it, but I would rather have cooperation from the town or something to put a truck up to, make the oncoming traffic go around, so we'd be safer. But, you can't look at it from your car because the guardrail's in your way. You need to be on foot looking down at the river.
Does
And
anybody have a drone?
That's a great idea.
Can't you walk on the other side of the guardrail?
no, it's steep bank.
Okay.
That guy, David, the guy with the goats, David Petrowski,
Yeah.
he has a drone. He'd fly it for us.
I nominate Jean to ask him. You brought it up.
That's a great idea. That's a great
Um,
idea. Does anybody happen to know if there were any trees or power lines down in the area where they did the resiliency work? I mean, today.
I only drove on the stretch of 171 from the traffic light to Rocky Hill Road, and there were no trees down there.
Hmm.
No, it was just water.
Lots of
Uh-huh.
water.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
they probably would say that it worked.
It's the success. Yeah. They're going to be like, oh, see?
Well, my power's still out, so I would,
Well,
take
mine's
it-
out too.
Yeah.
So they
So I take issue with
probably
that.
wanted.
because as we know, it's only 70% effective if they culled every tree that was suspect. So
Yeah,
everything they
exactly.
did was a absolute waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
So the best
I
we can
agree.
do is just, nature takes its course. The repairing buffer repairs itself. We don't get
Yeah,
a lot of
but-
salt this winter, and they don't do this again to us.
Well, so the thing though too is, that's why Reading, the town of Reading, I believe, came to us, right? Those women, and they were
Yeah.
like, hey, warning, this happened to us. And then
Yeah.
look what happened. And then we think this is gonna be some kind of a, red flag to somebody, but I don't know, because unless Jeff Gordon gets involved and it does end up becoming a bigger thing, it just keeps getting pushed, you know what I mean? Because we can tell them all about what happened, but how do we, help people to make it different?
Well, there's no, just, I guess there's one more project, which I think they stopped. So Child Road's done, 171's complete. Bill is on board. He's watching them like a hawk now.
No, I mean another town, if this,
Oh, no, well, that's why I asked Jeff. I sent a letter to Jeff
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
you guys, there's a subcommittee. You got to look into this. Yeah, so that's
Well, where
our
they-
contribution.
It sounds like we're pretty much on board with where the other towns where they've done the project sort of shook out, because those towns were also unhappy, several of
Yep.
them. especially those ladies that you were talking about. They came to us and said, you know, you guys are about to be hit by this project from Eversource, and you're probably not going to be happy when you're done. This is what they did to us. So they warned us and they tried to help us, but there's nothing that we could do to stop them.
Well, I think we just did. I don't think this is, I think Eversource is kind of drawing back at this point because
It would be,
they've seen what they're up against here.
Well, what
Well,
I know is they've only done trees in the right of way. They did not go onto people's personal property. Like they were telling us they could go 80 feet in if that tree could fall on the wires. I don't know any case where they did that.
Yeah, and Bill's going to be a lot more precise in the trees he okays them to cut. And he's going to keep
I
a
think it will make a
watch
difference.
on.
That will make a difference.
Yeah.
What you're doing, I think it will make a difference. You're making it more challenging for them to proceed.
You know, and the next steps go
Right.
to the press. You know, I have the email trail. I have all their, you know, I have
Right.
everything in the email that they were saying, and I said no, this really didn't happen, and then how they respond. So it's all on paper. So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
great.
hopefully we, you know, at least slowed it down for the future. Okay, then Ken Woslegal's workshop, he has something else in the beginning of March, so he asked to have it in the first week of February. And I told him our misgivings about the weather, but that's when he felt he wanted to roll it out. So is the first Wednesday in February acceptable?
As in the 7th, you're talking?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I can go about asking for a room. Personally, I've got choir Wednesday nights. So, I mean, I'm not going to be there, but that doesn't mean
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, so for you, whether
do
it's
you
the
want
first
me-
week in March or February, doesn't matter.
Okay. So do you want me to reserve February 7th?
Yeah, please. And then I'm gonna
At the
forward
town
you,
hall.
he has an invitation that if you could, you know, get out to the other conservation commissions, inviting them.
So we need the big room.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ken expects like hundreds, and I said, yeah, if we get 20, be happy.
Yeah, right.
He wanted to take the Woodstock, the Academy's auditorium. And
Yeah.
and get he wanted to get like Courtney there and, you know, get big speakers, and I think small.
Yeah, right.
I thought we were just vetting it, not just
Well-
going out to the public with it.
Yes, yeah. It's not for the general public. He wants the talk in March to be more for the general public. And I think he's holding it at the Thompson Library. So he wants this one to be more vetting, you know, with the different people who are more knowledgeable with the subject.
So if we're going to share this information with other conservation commissions, which I can do, somebody's gonna have to write up the talk,
Oh.
name, the person who's doing it, the time, the room, you know, and
Yeah.
all that information. And I can send it out to people I know
Okay, good.
could spread the
So-
word.
So I have his invitation. It doesn't have the place and time. So I'll send Grace a copy of it. I'll send you a copy of it. And you'll see what I mean.
So
And then-
what format is that in? And maybe we can add the date and time.
Oh.
Is it a Word document? Is it?
PDF?
It's on my iPad.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. You know,
Is it like a
It's-
picture
it-
file or is it a Word file?
It's not Word. It's a picture. It's either,
PDF.
I
bet.
forget, it's either PDF or it's just a,
Oh, a
a-
GIF or a
to the-
JPEG.
JPEG?
yeah, it's probably JPEG.
So you send me that. If Grace confirms the room,
Okay,
I'll work on that.
great.
Is
Ken's,
Ken looking for feedback on his revamp, or
yes, yes.
is, I see. But he
wants
wants
to-
to,
He wants to eventually roll this out nationally. And he's trying to
I see.
get people like the Gates Foundation and he's I told you that there's a guy up in New Hampshire he's in contact with. So he's trying to contact Tom Hanks to narrate the video.
Oh, my God.
It's a
Well,
little
yeah.
grandiose. That's wow.
Oh yeah.
I'd
You
really
talk to
like
him
to see what this is first before.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys I did not see his first presentation. but
Neither did I.
you didn't present a very good picture in my mind about what his message was. And that's why he's redoing it.
Yep.
So, I mean, he sounds very passionate, no question. But I'd like to see it first.
Yeah. Yep. Now I say last meeting, he's presented it at Eastern College and he got a lot of positive feedback. So hopefully, it's something, I'm glad to support and it's an important topic to get behind. Okay, on to new business. And anyone have an opportunity to go to any workshops since we met last and anything coming up?
Well, the Eagle survey is going on the 6th of January.
Yeah, anybody want to participate with me?
Yeah, The
The what?
West Green Valley.
Oh,
The Last Green
Eagle
Valley
survey.
Eagle Survey.
Bald eagle, yeah. But
It's a
other
it's
than
a
that-
4-hour window on a Saturday morning between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. We go out and we have stations and we watch the skyline. We look at the tree line and we count how many bald eagles we see in that period of time. And then we go to Cozy Corners in Brooklyn, Oregon, and have breakfast and talk about it. It's a lot of fun, although it can be cold.
You think?
Yeah, I do, I think. I know. I have one. Maybe Crystal can give you more precise information on it, but the town is going to be having a meeting later this week, and I'm going to be out of town and I can't attend. But it's going to be about Line Master Switch and that it's an EPA Superfund site, and they're going to give an update on the conditions and next steps or something. And it'd be really good for the Conservation Commission to be represented at this meeting. I think there's going to be a second meeting in January that I'll try to make, but this is still something that we have a Superfund site in town. We should be informed about it. And if you don't know anything about it, this is how you learn about it.
When's the meeting?
Crystal, do you have that information?
Don't have that information. No, I think they had a meeting last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah.
I thought it was this week because I couldn't go. Wait,
Unless I mean, I know there was a meeting recently. I want to say it was last week. And
well,
it
there's
was-
be another one in January, I think.
Right. I think it was held at the school, and, hosted by the EPA, I believe.
Okay, any other workshops? If
Not
none,
really the time of year for workshops.
I know, just part of the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so open discussion, Crystal,
I don't have anything.
Jean,
I attended a local working group meeting, hosted by the Connecticut Soil and Water Council. Um, it was a listening session for what people felt were the best, most important conservation needs. It was pretty interesting outcome. There'll be a study published from this effort, which we will be looking at with interest, I think. People's perceptions of what are the most urgent environmental needs.
Okay, Jim?
Nope, I don't have anything. I just, I'm curious about the meeting with the EPA. We don't know when that is yet, right? The next one, but where would I find out about it? I'd be interested in going if I can.
So the first one already happened, and I believe the EPA mailed information to residents who were within a certain distance from the site.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how they're doing the second one, if they're going to be publicizing it more or not.
Okay,
There is a formal public hearing on Wednesday, January 10th at 7 p.m.
oh, thanks.
I had snapped a picture of that before.
So that's January 10.
Beginning at 7 p.m., yes. Formal public hearing. This is for Line Master.
Do you know where that is?
I just have a picture here. Let me just see if I can find it. Proposed cleanup. They're going to be accepting public comments on the EPA's proposed cleanup plan from December 13th through January 12th. And they're seeking input now, basically, on all alternatives and the rationale for the preferred remedial alternative. Additional new information or comments that EPA learns during the public comment period could result in the selection of a final remedial action that differs from the preferred remedial alternative. You do not have to be a technical expert to comment. If you have a question or concern regarding the plan, EPA wants to hear from you before making a final decision on how to protect your community. Comments can be sent by mail, email, fax. In the formal public hearing, which is what you asked, I'm trying to get to it, but I can't see it. Oh, okay, yeah, will be held prior to the public comment period to further explain. Both meetings will be held at Woodstock Middle School. And
For those
representatives
that
from
don't
EPA.
have any knowledge about this Superfund site, Line Master Switch makes floor switches for machinery, and they use degreasing chemical. The acronym is TCE, and obviously it got into the groundwater through their drains, and the whole area was contaminated with TCE. There's a ring of monitoring wells around the site, and that's the last I knew about it. I mean, I read about it years ago. To hear that they're coming up with a final remediation plan is something of interest to me, and it should be to all of us.
Yeah, this happened in '93 that they had this initial action, right, Jean?
Again, it was before I moved to town, so yes, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, 1993, I believe.
Nice. So it only takes 30 years to figure this out, huh?
Right.
Well, they've been collecting water samples, so they're looking to see how this plume is moving through the groundwater. And I think they were pumping, I don't remember all the details. They might have been pumping water out and treating it and putting it back. I'm not sure. But, you know, TCE is a pretty nasty chemical. It's carcinogen, and it's common to have these things around industrial sites before they put the Clean Water Act into effect. So this is an old spill, and it's they don't use the chemical anymore, but it's got a long history. You know, it just doesn't go away.
Okay, what are we up to? Maura?
Um, just an update on, I am on the project I'm kind of taking on to see about stormwater runoff on dirt roads that ends up in wetlands. I was gonna go to a wetlands meeting and talk to them about it. I wasn't feeling good their last meeting, so I didn't end up doing that, and I will be away on their next, well, I'll be just getting back the day before their next meeting, so I might try to make that meeting, but I'm gonna follow up probably in February if I can't.
Oh, okay.
And I will probably be taking pictures
Tomorrow would be a
Of my-
good day to do that.
of my road and all of the sediment that I see going into a intermittent stream and all kinds of, I don't even know. So, yeah, it's an issue, but I'm kind of slowly getting there.
Here's a
Okay,
suggestion.
so I can take it off the January agenda. We'll put it on February, correct? You had asked
Um,
me to add it to January.
Yeah, I just have to look again because
Okay.
But I have a suggestion. There's like 13 or 14 scenic roads in Woodstock. And why if we each take one or two and go out and document things, we'll have a picture library without Maura doing all the work. I could do Smith Road.
well, I guess I mean, in particular, I was just gonna mention to them the issues on Taylor Road and Sherman Road. And I don't know if that would be then a future, well, let's look at other road. I don't know. I wasn't planning on taking on all of the roads in town, but I guess if you wanna,
Well, here's a suggestion. Why don't you talk to them in February and on those two roads and see what they come up with, and we can go from there. Because I'm guaranteeing our meeting will be after theirs in February.
okay. I mean, Jean, if you want to document some things that you know, and then send me the pictures, I can certainly try to present that too and say it's not just in these places. It's up to you.
Well, I don't think I'd do it tomorrow, and I'll be away until after Christmas, so I'll try to fit it in.
All right,
You know me, I like to take pictures, Maura.
I know.
Okay, Lori,
I don't have anything to add.
Grace,
Nope, I think we covered it.
it looks like we lost Beth. So, I think I said everything I need to. So anything else for the good of the order? And if not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jim seconds, okay. So
Okay, that was Jean that moved.
Yes.
moved and Jim second. JJ, so
Okay.
everybody have a Merry Christmas and a happy
Yeah.
and healthy New Year's, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah,
Yes,
hope you get your
sir.
power
Thank
back
you.
soon.
Next year.
Thanks, you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I hope you get your power back before 2024.
Yes.
I did see that some places are so messed up that it's going to take days to restore.
Yeah, that's probably me.
I hope not.
We're always last.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right.